couple of good wins, one over one of our sides in Eastbourne Borough, but another brilliant win, 3-0 at Maidstone, who haven't got off to the best of starts, but they were serious contenders last season as well in the playoffs. I think they got to the playoff final in the end, actually. So, yeah, great result that for them. Eastbourne Borough, a bit more concerning. Again, losing to Horsham. Horsham have proven quite a tough outfit, particularly at home. So that can happen, but they've not scored in September.
No.
3 games.
And from what we were saying last time, if I remember, they've actually got the youngest squad in the league, haven't they, on average?
Yeah, I was just looking on Transfermarkt now, and 3 of the youngest, 4 youngest lineups in individual matches this season have come from Matt Gray and Eastbourne Borough. So it is a massive change period for them. There's no doubt about that. And look, drawing at home to Hemel Hempstead can happen. Hemel are in the playoff zones at the moment. They've changed massively, the Tudors. They've gone from being one of the entertainers, if you like, in terms of lots of goals at both ends, and they're the polar opposite of that this year. They've failed to score on 3 occasions. They're only averaging just over a goal a game, so they're not doing particularly well at scoring. But it's a clean sheet all the same. But drawing it home to Salisbury, you see there Salisbury in the bottom 4 with Borough, them two propping up the table. That would have been one I'm sure Matt and the people at Borough would have wanted to win. Well, I'm sure they want to win everything, but you know what I mean. Like, that'll be one they'll have had on their list as we need to be getting points here. So that's a bit of a disappointment for Borough. The next thing I just wanted to point out is that my computer is rubbish. No, I'm joking.
No, watch you there. Shout out to non-league football Sussex. I like that account on X. Loves the cause there. Love it.
Lovely stuff. Good to have them on. Good to have them watching. So, in terms of the form guide, then here we've got actually a full set of tables. I should really have done more to have highlighted the games involving our sides. However, I haven't. So let's roll. You can still see them on the table there in yellow. Eastbourne Borough. They're not bottom of the form guide by dint of goal difference, but yeah, they've not scored. They failed to score in 4 of the last 6. So it's clear to see where
that's alarm bells.
That is alarm bells. To be fair, if I just move that up there for a minute, in terms of the defensive record, it's not that bad, actually. It's just over a goal a game, but so Priory Lane is not where you want to be heading for goals. Although there is a bit of a case of that in this league more generally. I'll come to that in a second. But the defensively, they're not that bad, but they just seem, toothless without having seen them. Just looking at the data, they just seem toothless up front.
Chris, you're over that way.
I am.
And obviously you're a big fan of the other half of Eastbourne over there. What are you hearing?
What, at Borough? Not an awful lot. I don't know that many people who go to Borough. That's not a dig, because they get.
Is that like when I'm a Man United fan? I don't know many City fans. Yeah.
Well, that's because you're not from Manchester, mate. But anyway, but no, in terms of Borough, I genuinely don't know that many people who go. I think the people I know who support support Borough actually have weekend jobs, so it's kind of hard for them to go. But reading some of the forums and stuff, Matt Gray's copping a lot of flack, and I don't know how much of it's fair given the massive turnover in squad that I talked about in the last month's show when I said like 80% of their minutes, the players responsible for the 80% of their minutes last season had gone. So it's a completely new squad and a very young one at that, as you've mentioned. So it is a tough job. But there's also, I think, a key to this obviously is a let me untie my tongue. A key part of the season at the moment, obviously not many teams have played that many games, and who you played will have a decent impact, like I said last month. And I've actually tried to quantify it a little bit with this. This bar chart on the left-hand side here shows you the average rank of each opponent, of each team's set of opponents. So the reason I flagged Maidstone at the top is just because it's easier to explain. Maidstone top there with 6.8. That means that the teams they have played so far this season, their average position is 6.8 in the table.
This is interesting. Okay, this is different.
So yeah, it is different. So this is, I mean, to put it in context for Maidstone, right? And I know they're in Kent, but it's just a really useful illustrative example. They've actually played all the teams from second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. They've only played one team in the bottom half, actually, and that's Horsham, and Horsham beat them. So they have had an absolutely horrible start, right?
So, Chris, how should I and the people watching at home be reading this table? Because,
Basically,
I love the graphics you do. Just explain to us really how we should read this.
The teams at the top have had a nightmare start fixture-wise.
Okay.
The team at the bottom, which in this case is one of our teams in Worthing, have had a kind of run of fixtures. So let's call out Worthing because they're, again, the most extreme example from Sussex. On the right there, I've put what I mean, basically, with regards to our sides. So if you look at Worthing, they've played, they haven't played Eastbourne Borough yet, but they have played Salisbury with 23rd. In fact, they've played Chippenham as well, Dagenham. So there are 3 of the bottom 4 Worthing have already come up against.
And how many points have they took?
From those games, I mean, 6. They lost away at Chip, but they've won at Dagenham, about which I am hearing some quite concerning things.
Go on. I want to hear about that as well.
And also Salisbury. So, yeah, they've taken 6 points from those games. But you look at the other teams they've played as well. Bath are 18th, Farnborough 20th, Enfield Town are 17th. So they've looked out in terms of the fixtures, and they were given those fixtures, probably hope to be higher in the table than 11th. So, yeah, it's just about, I mean, look, everyone else, anyone from, say, Dagenham there to, I'd say, Hemel, they're in that normal range. Like, they've not had a particularly easy or a particularly hard run of fixtures, so to speak, because you've played, once you've played a decent amount of games, they should all start converging into the middle. But at this point of the season, like, if you've only played, like, again, Maidstone, they've exclusively played teams in the top half, basically. So you'd imagine that they've not had a great start. They're 15th, I think, or something. You'd imagine them starting to pick up points when the fixtures get a bit easier, which they surely will, based on this.
But now I'm looking at where Worthing are currently, and I'm seeing them right down the bottom of one of your data tables. And that's a slight concern for me.
The thing is with this one, the one on the left-hand side, so this coloured bar chart, is nothing to do with the team and their quality. All it's saying is who've they played and where are they currently in the table.
But that tells me they've played the weaker teams.
Oh, yeah. Worthing have had the easiest set of fixtures up till now.
Okay.
And by a margin, that's not a small margin, that. So, yeah, that is something that I'm sure Worthing fans will look at and think, maybe ruining missed chances and thinking they should be higher in the table. And based on this evidence, I wouldn't dispute that.
Okay. Fair one.
Now, in terms of the fixtures,
funny
enough, Worthing's are about to get a lot harder. So
the good news keeps coming in for all the Worthing fans, then.
And this is just league fixtures, so I'm not counting the game against Forest Green. But they've got Maidenhead next on the road on Saturday. In fact, all of our teams have got pretty difficult games on the road on Saturday. Horsham go to Leaders Hornchurch.
That'll be tough.
Yeah, that will be tough. Borough go to Ebbsfleet, who I know they're 12th, but they're decent at home. And Worthing go to Maidenhead. Worthing also have to face Chelmsford away, which won't be easy. Tottenham at home. Tottenham have adapted very nicely to life in the National League South, currently in the playoff spots.
They got a little kicker. They got a little kicker on Tuesday against Jarvis Brook as well in the old Senior Cup.
Aye, they have. So that'll be interesting. I mean, I think they've named the caretaker, haven't they? The assistant's taking over for the next 3. Well, because they've got 3 games in a week. You'll have to read that to me. I can't see it because my screen. But it's going to get tougher before it gets easier for Worthing. I think that's fair to say. Now with Chris Agutter having gone, it's going to be an interesting watch the next few weeks.
Yeah, well, it depends on again. There's the rumour mill's already rife in it, so we will see.
We will see.
Where would you see? Let me try and get an early prediction out of the Statman. I know you base everything on Einstein's theory of relativity, your stuff. But where do you envision Worthing finishing?
It's really hard at the minute. This is not a league I'm massively au fait with. I'm happy to admit that. I think in terms of the teams who are in the playoffs at the minute, I mean, if I just go back a couple of slides, bring up the table, you can see, for example, like Hampton and Richmond and AFC Tottenham, I didn't have anywhere near the playoffs. I genuinely did. I mean, AFC Tottenham are new up, bit of a little quantity. They could hang around, but I'm not sure. I'd still say if you're Worthing, I mean, they're only 4 points off the playoffs as well.
I think that I definitely think they're going to get playoffs. Definitely.
Yeah. So
what about Horsham then? Because everyone was saying try and finish. What was it? 17th, 16th, 17th. And Dom's done a fantastic job up there. He really has.
On Horsham, I mean, yeah, I can't speak highly enough of Dom DePaolo and the work he's done at Horsham. What I will say as well, you look at the teams that they've beaten this season, and that's on here. Torquay at home, Eastbourne Borough at home, fine. Maidstone, that's three teams who got in the playoffs last year and were in that shout for the title. Maybe less so Maidstone, obviously, but certainly in Torquay and Borough. I know we've said about Borough's squad having changed, but they're a decent-sized outfit at this level, and Torquay are massive. So Horsham are showing they're not scared of anybody, which is a fantastic quality to have. I think they'll be fine. On this evidence, I think they'll be absolutely sound.
Yeah, I think they'll finish about mid-table. I do. Well, I hope they do. I really do. We know they're not scared of other teams because obviously we've seen that in the cup runs of the llast few years they've had as well.
Well, yeah. Not many teams get a draw at Barnsley when they're at the, step 3, which is what Horsham were at the time. To improve season on season 10 years in a row is just unheard of, ultimately. So, no, I think there's no limits really for them. But I think stay up. I mean, they're out of the FA Cup now. I don't know whether that'll help focus minds.
Possibly.
So, yeah. No, good luck to them. Right.
How about you? What you were missing one? You didn't tell me where you think Eastbourne Borough finished.
Nothing gets past you, does it? Look, I think
Don's the lyncher out there. Do you know what I mean?
Like I said, I don't know many Borough fans, so I can do this. Well, I'll just have to wear a mask around it. It'll be fine. Look, it's hard to say that they're going to stay up based on current evidence. They're still able to bring people in, which I would advise they do, because you can't go 3 games without a goal like that, and without it coming back to bite you. The one thing I will say for them is defensively, like I say, they're not that bad, so they could. That's a solid platform on which to build, but they better start doing it quick.
Yeah, no, I get it. I personally think they're going to start, but the longer it goes on, the less confident, obviously, me and the bookies will get. Quite
well, yeah. Like I said, I mean, losing away at Horsham can happen, and they're a good side, and we've been through that. It was that draw at home to Salisbury, who were in no great form either. Does not bode well. Now, talking of things not boding well, this is the picture in the Isthmian League Prem. There's only one win in there for our sides, and that actually came against Lewis. I was actually at that match when Chichester won at Lewis. And I think my match report basically said at least Ronnie Biggs wore a mask because they were very fortunate to get away with a win that night, Chichester. But look, I think ultimately this league, everything kind of pales into insignificance, doesn't it? After the events of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, of course it does. And by the way, I saw the show last night. I thought you guys did a fantastic service to that.
Yeah, that was Trev, to be fair, but it was.
We're all in the same team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
He steps up, and I thought it was very fitting.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, heartfelt condolences to everybody at Chichester City and Billy Vargas' family and friends, we felt it on this side of the county. Not me personally, but obviously spent quite a lot of time at Eastbourne Borough and Hastings, and because of the close geography and that, I know quite a few players who've played for Town who I follow on Instagram and stuff, and you can see the genuine depth of feeling there amongst his ex-teammates, both at Borough and at Hastings. And yeah, you'd never want to see that. But there's not much else I can say to add, to improve on what's already been said. So, with respect, I think I'll have to part that one there. But yeah, bad month on the pitch for our sides as well. I mean, Lewis got off to a great start, and they're still 7th in the table. The Chichester one will rankle. They played some really good stuff that night. And I came away quite impressed with them, but it was just the last touch every time. They missed a couple of one-on-ones, and Chichester were reduced to 10 men, defended resolutely, and then hit them on the break. It was a classic sucker punch. And Whitehawk. I mean, look, losing at Folkestone, many teams will do that.
They started so well, Saunders lot, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I mean, so did Dulwich, and Dulwich have started falling off as well. I think it's what I mean about sample sizes not being brilliant at that time, and you don't want to take too much of an early read on it. But look, I mean, draws. I mean, St Albans were step 4. No, step 4. Were they Bulls? They were step 2.
Step 2.
They were step 2 last year. Hashtag. And they're no mugs at this level. It's not a bad point to get that. And Folkestone, look, again, that can happen. Folkestone will do that to a lot of teams this season, I think. So kind of fair enough. It's not the end of the world for Whitehawk. Chichester haven't played many games, which is understandable. Burgess Hill, I mean, again, drawing the last couple of games will hurt, but obviously this doesn't factor in the point they got on Tuesday night, which is frustrating because I thought I'd included it. Damn it. So that's annoying. But, again, they are conceding a lot of goals. It's a point I've made before, a couple of weeks running now. What impressed me away at Dartford on Tuesday was the fact that they came from 2 goals down. That takes a lot of guts and belief and resilience, and they obviously showed that in spades. The fact that they're getting goals means I've probably got a bit more confidence about their prospect actually than say a and one win and they're right at the top of the bottom half again. So
I think it's still early days. It's obviously we've kicked on again, and I think these teams start really thinning out a bit more over the next month, and then we're going to really see who's in trouble and who's not.
Yeah, and they can start building a bit of momentum at home now they're back. Now they're back home, so that's good. On the goal scoring front, this looks a little bit.
This is the ones I like.
Now, this one looks a little weird, and we'll come on to this in a bit. But the reason I've kind of done it this way is this is actually the axes reflect all the leagues. I've just highlighted this league.
Explain to the people watching what's your method of thinking here and what this is all about.
Right. Well, basically, along the bottom, it's goals conceded per game, so how leaky are they? And up the top, it's goals scored. And what you'll normally see is a bit of a line, and we'll definitely see this with the SCFL Prem later, that teams, basically the better teams, will score a lot and concede very few, and they'll be in this contenders box. And the teams, and I don't mind saying it because they're not from Sussex, like Canvey Island,
who wants to live over there? No one.
Quite. Yeah, and they're in this horrible struggling box, which means they don't score many and they concede a lot. Now, it's just a bit of a reckoner at the minute, just to kind of see, how dispersed is the league in terms of quality? So is there a clear sort of demarcation between the good teams and the bad? Or is it a bit of a maelstrom and like everyone's a bit together? And you are always going to have, in these blue bars, basically, are the, if you're outside of there, you're an outlier. So looking at Folkestone, for example, I mean, they're the one closest to this top left-hand corner. So they're both very good at the back and very good going forward.
So the idea is to get in the top left-hand corner.
Basically, yeah.
And if you're in the bottom right-hand corner, you're well in trouble.
Get your pitchforks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Burgess Hill, I mean, they're doing fairly well in the respect that they're obviously conceding a lot, but they are at least scoring. So, Ramsgate, who also came up from the Isthmian South East last year, are in that category, and they've just got Joe Taylor back as well, their striker who scored 1 million goals last season in the league. So firepower is not going to be their problem. It's just learning to keep the clean sheets. But yeah, again, we'll see a few different versions of this today, and they all look very different, which gives me something to talk about, which is good. But yeah, Whitehawk and Lewis are sort of in this region now. So scoring and conceding about the same amount each game. So no real alarm bells there. In terms of fixtures for the month, quite a mixed picture. Thank you, Burgess, for playing on a Monday.
Burgess playing on Monday?
Yeah, that's when they travelled to Carshalton in South Croydon, I think, or somewhere right in that region.
Lovely part of the world.
I mean, glass houses. So I won't be commenting on that one. But yeah, it'd be interesting to say. I mean, there is a Sussex derby coming in the month when Whitehawk travel to Burgess Hill on Saturday.
When's that?
Saturday 18th.
Oh, that sounds a cracker, that one.
That should be decent, yeah. In other news, Lewis have got 2 away games in 3 days away, one of them being at Folkestone. Now, that might be at Margate, actually, thinking about it, because I'm pretty sure they're sharing at Margate for the time being.
I mean, I know that's a trek, but it's a lot closer than if you were over my way over here.
What, to Folkestone?
Yeah, it's still a trek.
Yeah. I'm in Eastbourne. I think I'm nearer Folkestone, but I don't. Yeah, you're the southerner. You'll know best.
I'm on the beach, baby. On the beach.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, and then obviously Chichester do have a game on Saturday, I believe now. So this might be a bit out of date. But I have seen they've put a tweet out saying they're going to play on Saturday and inviting everybody to come down and be there. So,
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they're definitely at time of press are playing Saturday.
Yeah, so fingers crossed for them. Yeah, right. On to, very quickly, a whistle-stop tour of the South Central, a league in which we have 2 teams who we've been covering quite a bit, which is good. Now, Littlehampton are unbeaten in the month, which is good.
Get in there, Mitch's boys. Yep,
doing very well.
LA are massive.
They seem to have a habit at the moment of either not scoring or scoring 3. So, which is good. I mean, they're proving great value at the moment. Great win away at South Park by 3-2.
That was a good win. That was a really good win.
Yeah, they're not bad at South Park. Trev was at the Bedfont game and spoke very well about that on last week's show. And Rains Park Vale a second, and you got a 3-0 draw there, nearly a win. So I'm sure the result will hurt, but I'm sure they'll come back and look at that quite fondly as time goes on.
I remember Mitch saying that he didn't know anything about a lot of the other teams. He wanted to go in a season where they didn't know anything about them, and they didn't know anything about their team. I thought that was quite a cool tactic. It seems to be working.
It's definitely a wild ride, but I'm all here for it. I think that's a really good idea. I know a couple of the teams just only because Town have come up against them in times gone by in like the VARs and stuff. So Egham, who've got the best nickname in football, the Sarnies.
The Sarnies, is that legit, or are you putting?
Yeah, that is legit. Egham. That's that.
And their nickname is the Sarnies.
Absolutely.
Well, what can you say?
That is fantastic. So, but yeah, and obviously Hayes and Yedding I know from FA Cup giant killings of yesteryear, but beyond that, no, I don't know an awful lot about them. My geography of Hampshire is even worse than my geography of Sussex, so not great. But I will say for Bognor, they have had a couple of really tough games, and they are at least scoring goals. So losing,
they've let a few go this week.
Yeah, I heard. I mean,
a few players have been let go.
Yeah, I mean, Slav Hook was only on loan, wasn't he? But he's a good goalkeeper at this level. Well, I think he's been a good goalkeeper at every level, to be fair, from what I've seen of him. But yeah, I mean, look, Rangers Park Vale are second. They're a good side. They're not doing badly at all. Hamworth Villa are third, and they've had to go to both of those teams in the last few weeks. So, yeah. So again, I think they must be just gagging to get back to Nywood Lane, surely, and just start playing some home games, because it was a point I made on the show, and I don't think I articulated it very well, so I'll have another go. That they've played, of the games they've played, so they played 8, 7 have been away. And it's not just the fact that they don't have home advantage, but when they go away from home, the other team has home advantage. So even if Bognor are playing games nominally at home, at least it's depriving their opposition of home advantage.
It's the price you pay, though, for investing in the infrastructure.
Oh, 100%. It's short-term pain, long-term game. Completely get it. And I think
they've got a fantastic fan base down there. They really have a passionate one, a naughty one, and they're going to have a beautiful surface there. All going to be done. It's long overdue. Look, if they can hang in there enough, I'm sure Jamie can get the stuff done.
Yeah, but I mean, again, look at the teams. Have I done it on this one? Can't remember if I've done it. I did bring in the fact actually just on the fixtures that who they've played, and I've been making the point about Bognor. Both Littlehampton and Bognor have had pretty tough runs. I mean, in the last 4 games, Bognor Regis have played 3 of the top 4.
In the last 4 games?
Yeah. They played Leatherhead, Rangers Park Vale, and Hamworth, all in the top 3. So that's pretty tough going. And Littlehampton haven't, they've also played Leatherhead away and Rangers Park Vale away, as well as trips, as well as they started with Ascot on the Thursday, and also been to Hartley Wintney. Whatever that is. Neither side's had a particularly easy run.
Well, that's got to bring a bit of hope then to the fans.
100%. I mean, Littlehampton are on the edge of the playoffs, despite that. So they can be, really tough with themselves. And like I said, with Bognor, you just look at all the A's here. It's like a Scouse social event. A. So once they start getting,
they're like a Scouser.
I was saying, it's like a Scouse social event. So once they start getting games back in Bognor, I imagine we might see a bit of a pivot point. I hope for their sake.
I hope they do.
This is what I was talking about. The infamous goal.
So to me, this looks like everyone's playing their part at the moment. Everyone seems to be within themselves. Yeah,
there's no real standout awful teams. I've left the boxes exactly where they are across all 6 leagues, so you can kind of just see, like, relative to other teams how they're doing. But yeah, it is quite condensed, this one. All the teams seem to be scoring between 1.5 and 2.5 a game, conceding much the same. It's not. I mean, there's a bit of a separation here between Leatherhead, Hamworth, Ascot, and Hartley Wintney, but not much of one. And that's mostly in terms of the defence. In terms of attack, they're actually pretty similar to, Leatherhead aren't massively apart from Rangers Park Vale, and so on and so forth. So it's quite a congested sort of league. And again, I think that would probably give hope to Littlehampton and Bognor as well, in the fact that
it's smack bang in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you put it just says, like, you put in the teams of broadly equal quality. The distribution's not that mad. All it would take is a couple of results. You get 1 win of, like, 1 month of, say, 3 wins, and all of a sudden everything changes massively, particularly for Bognor. So I think, there are reasons to be hopeful for those two. And on that note, here are the fixtures that they've got coming up. Sorry, it will get easier, Bognor, but you have got Met Police coming up, which isn't fun. But and then they've got Hamworth Villa, but then it does get a bit easier. Kingstonian, Harrow, Borough, Westfield as well.
They've had some run of games, haven't they?
Yeah, and but there's more of them coming at home now. So 4 of the games. I mean, they've got 6 games in October, which is quite a lot. That's just in the league. But 4 of them are at home, and I don't know how many of them are actually at home and how many of them are at Chichester. But it's but again, at least it's depriving other teams of home advantage, if nothing else. So,
okay.
Interesting. Right. Back to matters somewhat more familiar to me. The Isthmian South East. So we've got two tables here. One is the league table as things stand, and one I've just decided to just smash the form table onto it as well.
It's like Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, I can't start anywhere else other than Three Bridges.
Of course you can't. They are... Krellin's got them on fire up there, LJ.
Yeah, they are cooking. They are cooking.
He's a great guy as well. He's a good guy. Local lad from around here he is.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, he messaged me. I can't remember. He just messaged me out of the blue last year at some point and saying, "Credit where it's due. What you do is awesome." I was like, "Nice to meet you. Thank you,
mate." A lot of people say that. That's why we found value in doing this for you. Do you know what I mean? The amount of work you put in behind the scenes to do this for nothing, for people out there, they're nothing. It's not like, you know, I know you do a bit like this in your day job, but not like this. And so this is why we want, you know, whether one person watches it or 500 people watch it, we want to showcase what you do.
Yeah, like I've said from the get-go with this, it started as my way of trying to encourage people to come to Eastbourne Town. I started doing it on Twitter for the leagues, the teams in the county Prem. They all got on board and love it, and so I carried on doing it, and I've just gradually grown. And the teams who I've done it for have all been very appreciative of it. Yeah, Emily.
And you know you're going to be using these stats to feed our little robot, which is at the top up there.
Yeah, indeed.
Dugout AI. When we start talking about that, can't wait for that.
That thing is going to love gravy by the time I'm finished with it. So
that's nice from Peter. Yeah, first time watching, but these stats are magnificent. I remember meeting Peter back at an East Preston game, if I'm right in saying. Peter, shout out to you, pal.
Nice. They've got a coolly named ground, the Lashmar. Love it. But yeah, Three Bridges, I mean, they're absolutely cooking. They've dropped points in one game in the league this season, and that was to Chris Samo's Rubbish Heath. More on which in a moment. But yeah, 26 in 9. They've got, I think, 3 of the top 10 scorers in the league at the minute in Rhys Allard, Paul Leighton, and I think Tally Bennett was it. So
they've got a young squad as well overall.
Yeah, there was that number 4, their captain, who's really young. He looks a tiny fella.
Right. I think he's only about 19, 20.
I remember him getting shouted out on the show last year, and I thought, oh, keep an eye out for him. And for the part of the game I remember, he looked very, very good. But unfortunately, I had a few beers by that point because it was boiling hot and Bridges were battering us. So
there's nothing wrong with that, Christopher.
But no, credit to them. They've been, and it's not just the fact that they scored 7 in one game. I'm pretty sure they've got 6s, 5s, and 4s as well. So they're not shy about sticking goals in. Now, the second team in the Sussex-based Isthmian South East is one very close to my heart, and in fact, very close to my house, Eastbourne Town. When we did this last time, they'd only just won their first game, and we were in the bottom 3, I think was. And since then, we've won every league game, 4 in a row. Wow. It's the first time we've done 4 in a row since Town got promoted back up to Step 4. And I believe if Town were to finish the season like this, it would be the highest ever finish since the football pyramid was rearranged, like it, as it in its current format.
Wow,
so that would be quite something. Jude McDonald, our manager, was on the show last night. I thought he spoke very, very well.
Did you get his autograph?
No, I'll just get my beer next. I'll see him. No, he's again. I've said it many times on the show, and I'll say again, he's the best manager we could hope to have, and the job he's doing is brilliant.
It came across really well.
Yeah, he's a really thoughtful guy, really thoughtful, and look, he gets emotional in games. He'll be the first to say it, but he's very. He does like to take a step back and look at things. And the words he spoke about self-reflection, I think, could be a great lesson for anybody, to be fair, including myself.
How do the fans see him? You're there.
Universally loved, popular.
Okay.
Very, yeah. I mean, Town, when I first started watching Town, we had a squad of great players who never really put it together in any great, in any real consistent format. And there's a lot of, I think we were spending a lot of money on it. Whereas, and look, these are good players. Dan Perry was there, Aaron Hopkinson was there. Yeah, those two are very good, and also linking up now for Forest Row to devastating effect by the look of things.
Yeah,
more on which in a bit. But and yeah, we had like the likes of Simon Johnson as well, who was a brilliant player. We just never made that step. And then Jude came in, cleared the decks, and started with a young squad. And the job he's done has been brilliant. I could talk all day about Jude, but we've got a lot of clubs to cover. So, but talk of clubs who are doing a great job. Sussex, first season.
Those Westlake boys.
They know what they're doing, and they're picking. They are picking up points. I know they've lost the last two, but they're picking up points all the time. They drew with Whiteleaf, which is no mean feat.
FA's finalists last year.
Indeed, they are. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's a good result. Look at where Whiteleaf are in the table. They're third at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're going really well. Crowborough equally have started the season really well.
Muggeridge.
Picking up points all the time. Winning at Ashford. That's a great result. That is a superb result. And we beat them in the Vars, but I think from what Jude told us, it sounds like they rested quite a few players for that. So I wouldn't say that's anything particularly to be worried about. Broadbridge Heath, I am going to come to in a bit more depth. Hastings now started to pick up a little bit with a win.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I mean, look, 4-2 at Three Bridges. I mean, they scored 2 at Three Bridges. That's not a bad little haul. Good to see Dan Hull get on the score sheet twice for them at Sheppey. Sheppey are weird. I said on the show last night, Sheppey are weird. They beat Sittingbourne, they beat Margate, but Three Bridges put 7 past them.
Do they not travel well?
Well, it certainly doesn't look like it, looking at these games. But even some of the home games, I mean, the 3-0 at home to Hastings, that was not what I expected, to be completely fair. And they lost at home to Erith Town, which fills me with dread because that's who Town have got on Saturday. But that's Erith's only win so far. So
we did a podcast with the guys that run the Erith podcast.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of good guys. Worth checking out, those.
Well, I've been on that show myself. Just before, and I wouldn't mind. We previewed the game, and then it got postponed. So, as will always happen. And then finally at the bottom, East Grinstead. I've been pretty clear on the fact I think they're going to struggle, but it is nice to see them pick up a win, albeit against Sussex. Good on them for getting that, because that's not. Town went there and got we didn't play well, but we got pumped. We got a 2-1 pumping. But no, that's a
2-1 pumping.
Yeah, it was 2-1. It was 2-1.
Sounds like a blue movie.
No, it was 2-1, but it wasn't. It flattered us really. But yeah, that's a good result for East Grinstead. So congratulations to them. But on to Broadbridge Heath now.
Simo, what's he?
Yeah, no.
How's he getting on? Oh, what is this?
Yeah, so this is a bit of a spliced and diced version of Teaming Focus dashboards, which I use for prepping my various Twitter things. Ultimately, I mean, at home, they've lost once. They've done quite well. They're averaging 2 goals a game at home. They've beaten Three Bridges at home,
wow.
Which, yeah, they're the only team to take points off Three Bridges this season. That's no mean feat. That's a really tough game, and they've done well. But the thing with Broadbridge, I'm conscious when we spoke about them last, they were unbeaten, they were top, they were doing really well in the league. And since then, results have tailed. But look at that fixture list. They've been at Croydon and got a point, and Croydon have started really well. Then they came to the Fortress, that is the Saffrons, and but in all seriousness, and then and that was I there for that game? No, I wasn't there for that one. I was in Manchester. But the next 2 games, they've had Faversham and Whiteleaf. I mean, that is a mean set of fixtures. In fact, coming back to this whole graph about who teams have played, Broadbridge have had by far the hardest start in that league. They've had 3.
And where are they now?
16th. You see up here, 16th. But again, they've had the hardest run, like going, and they've only failed to score once. So there's this is not where, based on their start, this is not where they should be in the table. I don't think. It's just a bit of a quirk of the fixture list more than anything.
I've got no doubt that Chris and his boys will go on a run and finish much higher up there. We know the man. We know what he's dealing with, and he's not dealing with the biggest resources down there. Believe me.
No.
If it's in resources, I guarantee he's in the bottom 20%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jude spoke very highly of Chris last night.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, and he's saying like he loses players every season, but they just get better. So which is brilliant. But yeah, they will bounce back from this. It is just literally, again, just look at them fixtures. Just look at them.
He will see this as well, Chris, and he'll look at that. He'll take some solace out of that. He really will.
Well, I know he's a bit of a date ahead anyway from the stuff from the podcast he did with you. So yeah, talk of fixtures. These are the ones for the weekend. They don't have a game, but a lot of our teams do. Hastings welcome Faversham. That is not an easy game. That's going to be very tough. I mean, Margate Croydon will be a good one as well. It's not our team, as will Merstham Three Bridges, actually. It's not quite a derby, but not a million miles off. That'll be a good game. Town beat Merstham at the weekend, but they are a good side. Last season they qualified for the playoffs after a mad run in the second half of the year. It'll be interesting to see how Crowborough get on at home to Herne Bay. Herne Bay have started well, but again, Town, they're one of the teams who Town have put to the sword in the last month.
Crowborough get a decent crowd down there. They do, and they like to get on top of you when they're down there. They're a good crowd, but they'll be vocal.
Oh yeah, well I was there for the playoff final last year against Eastbourne United, and yeah, they were very vocal then. Albeit it's a playoff final, they would be. But no, you're right. Generally, they have very good crowds. Now, I don't want to jinx teams, but interesting game at Eden Park, where East Grinstead goes to face Beckenham. Beckenham have just lost their top scorer, Louis Thanapanis, who scored 36 goals last season.
How do you know this?
I don't have a life. I thought that was pretty abundantly clear, but there we go. No, he scored 36. Well, he scored 6 of them against Lansing. That was what first brought him to my attention.
Right, okay. That was Billy's game, wasn't it? Billy Wood's game.
Yes, yeah. God rest his soul.
9-0 or 9-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the 2 9s. But yeah, and he also scored for Beckenham at Town this season with a thunderous shot. Really ridiculous goal it was. I remember thinking, I bet that was that Thanapanis. Yeah, it was. All right, fine. But that is a massive gaping hole in Beckenham's attack now. And they haven't started the best anyway. So East Grinstead, having just won, watch this space. I am tipping them to win, a team who I've said will finish in the bottom 4. So there we go.
Okay,
right then, that's the step 4 done. On to the County Prem.
This is where these are the leagues I like.
Indeed. Now, Hayward Heath continue to smash it.
I went and saw him on Saturday. When I presented the SNLF Team of the Month award that they won back in the thing. They look so drilled. They do. They were playing against Shoreham, albeit Shoreham have had a tough couple of weeks. Obviously, they've had some managerial changes, some player changes, things like that. Vibe really good at the club down at Shoreham. Really good though. But Hayward Heath, they're effing relentless, mate. They do not take the foot off. They are on you. Kev Green has got them drilled down there.
Well, they've beaten some very good teams already this season. They've beaten Horsham. They've beat Forest Row's only defeat was a gubbing at home to Hayward Heath. And
Forest Row will continue to be up there this year.
They've certainly done a lot of good recruitment in the last few weeks. Picking up Aaron Hopkinson and Dan Perry, who've played together before that is going to be a very, very fruitful combination.
Yeah, I was surprised they got Perry, but Grant has obviously.
I think that might be. I'm thinking that might be dual reg, because I think he was on the bench for. It was Saturday actually, because Three Bridges, they were at home. Forest Row were meant to be at Peacehaven, but there was a problem with the electrics or something at Centenary, so that game got postponed. I was like, brilliant! I've just done a preview for this game. It's been postponed. Not a drop of rain has left the sky, and I can still get games postponed. My power knows no bounds. But yeah, in all seriousness, but then Perry ended up on the bench for Three Bridges, so I think it might be dual reg.
Yeah, it must be them.
So, but yeah, we've also seen first defeats. There were quite a few unbeaten records last time, but we've seen first defeats of the season for New Haven and for Stenning, both courtesy of them Islanders.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. That is, because that's got to be a freak result, wasn't it? What was it, 6-7-1, something like that?
7-1. I mean, I thought
7-1 that Guernsey beat New Haven. New Haven been, second in the league.
New Haven had conceded 7 goals in their first 7 games, and then they conceded 7 goals in an hour. So I don't know what happened there, but I said a few weeks ago about Uckfield and about you lose, you have one game where you just get all them errors out your system. You'd rather concede that many goals in one game than across several, because
Really?
We'll come to Uckfield.
You as a team, a club, as players, be happy to ship in 7 in one game rather than 7 in 7.
If I then won the next 3, yeah, of course.
All right, fair one. I see where you're coming with the analytical point. I'm coming with the.
It's impossible
to ship 7 goals.
Well, but then as a team, you get out. If that's not going to sharpen a few people, and say, right, I've not been putting in the effort, or and a few honest conversations between themselves after that, I think, yeah. I mean, even across 2 games, if you lose one, Uckfield's a prime example. I'm sorry to come to them now, but they lost 9-0 to Reigate Priory, then beat Mile Oak 1-0. So across them 2 games, they scored 1, conceded 9, still had 3 points, better than 2 draws.
But yes, for me though, it's going to. I know Stenning lost at this weekend, and now I know they've been. It was last night, wasn't it? Or the night before? They lost.
Yeah, Tuesday.
They're already games behind, and when I say games behind, I mean they've got games in hand, but they're not points on the board. Psychologically, when you're up there, pumping people like Hayward Seafar.
I mean, they're 13. Yeah, currently they're 13 points behind.
But you say about the Guernsey and that. Interestingly, me and Lee Penn are flying out there in 3 weeks' time. We're going to watch them. We're going to watch them v Horsham YMCA. YM. Sorry, because there's no more CA. But yeah, we're going out there on the Friday till the Sunday there. But that should be a cracker.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. That will be a humdinger. But yeah, and also we've had first wins on the board for 5 teams, actually. Wick, Crawley Down. No, that's 4 teams. Sorry. I did the old confusing Crawley Down Gatwick for 2 teams. Wick, Crawley Down, Lingfield, and Seaford this week, beating Lancing 4 goals. Yeah. Listening to Tommy Haddon on his little on his videos on TikTok about it, because he went and he said it was that, if anything, was a bit flattering to Lancing.
Again, unbelievably, I do a podcast with the chairman, the manager, and the coach, and 2 days later he quits. I mean, I'm not joking you. That is the 3rd Lancing manager in 15 months I've done podcasts with, and they've all either got sacked or quit.
Yeah. I mean, props to you as well. I've not told you that podcast was fantastic, and I thought they all came across really well, including Coxey. They all came across really well.
They're good guys, mate.
They've had an absolutely horrible hand dealt to them with regards to the situation, and I think they've handled that, Martin Gander came across very well for me. I thought
I used to play for his brother at Lance.
I remember you saying, well, yeah. And I know it's a club close to your heart. I think they've handled that as best as they could.
Look, they're in the right hands with Martin Gander for sure. You know, gone are the days where stupid decisions have been made at that committee. But look, we're not talking about that. What I am happy for though is I'm happy for a few guys I know in there getting their first wins. I'm happy that Lee Baldwin got his first win, and he's got Craig the Pup Stewart with him, my former guy at Arundel.
Yeah, of course.
Crawley Down. I like the chairman there, Dave. He's a great guy. Great guy. I'm looking forward to going up and see him. And my 24-hour 90k hike man, Paul Wise. Wisey. Yeah, I made up for him because he feels so passionate about that club. Yeah, he really does. And
yeah, for sure.
He bleeds it, mate. Right?
Yeah.
And the players don't question him. The committee don't question him. The fans don't question. They know that their job is to finish 17th this year. Do you know what I mean? Well, so I'm made up that he's got his first win, and I know a few people in that camp. There's a few players coming back now. They've had 6 or 7 out. They have. You watch them start ticking off a few teams now.
Yeah,
I think by the time we speak next month, I guarantee they picked up a couple.
Oh yeah, that'll be a pivot point, and I'll tell you why it'll be a pivot point in a minute. But yeah, here's some of the form guide. Forest Row and Hayward Heath continuing to dominate that. It doesn't just for the fact, obviously, with everybody having played 6 games, there's no real the fact that teams have had cup runs like Stenning have. It's kind of neutralised a little bit with that one. What I will say, one team we haven't really mentioned an awful lot about is Eastbourne United. Now,
they play some lovely football, by the way. They really do, and we don't talk enough about them.
No, we don't. But they've picked up a couple of good results actually of late. Namely, drawing at Bexhill at the Polegrove, which is not an easy place to go, and also Pagham. Pagham started very well.
That's my mate Lemmy Ewan.
He's doing a good job down there. So yeah, that might be a bit of a pivot point for Eastbourne United as well. But on the whole Seaford front, I want to just highlight something. Obviously, they won there against Lancing, which I've just mentioned. I did drop Wisey this. No, I didn't. I dropped him. This is an updated version. But like the start Seaford have had, and in fact, quite a few of the teams in the bottom half of the table, they've had horrible starts. Seaford, they're 5th in that league. Now, the reason they're 5th is because they played Lancing on Tuesday, were bottom, and that's massively brought them up a bit. It was 7.2. The average position of their opponents prior to Lancing was 7.2. They played Hayward Heath. They've played Guernsey. They've had a really horrible start for a team. A team new to the level as well. And like you say, with injuries, I think the Lancing game. It was unfortunate they had to play it away from home, but they won it, so I'm sure they won't be that bothered. Also, it's not like New Haven's massively far away either.
No.
They could
10 minutes down the road.
Indeed have walked it. So
we did. Yeah. Funny enough.
Indeed. So yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine. But yeah, I get the feeling that'll be a bit of a pivot point for them. But yeah, with Lancing, it's the defence again. It was last season as well. 24 goals they've conceded in their last 6. In fact, they've conceded 17 in their last 3.
I think they've lost their keeper as well.
Well, they lost the keeper from last season, Aliu Seka. He went to Forest Row, and then now he's at Rains Park Vale.
But then they had the TikTok keeper, didn't they? What's he called? The Real GK on TikTok.
Oh,
yeah. He left. I don't know why he left, because he was obviously getting enough action. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he wasn't bored.
No.
So, yeah, that has to stop, and it's a bit of a continuation of what happened to them last season as well at Lancing. But obviously, it's a much different group of players. So,
Mm.
here's the one you've all been waiting for, and I did say
right. Let me have a look, because this to me, right, from someone looking in, and I know how you work this out, but from let's say a neutral looking in, that's not seen this before. This to me looks how it should be. You've got Hayward's Heath running away with it in the top left, and you've got Lancing close to the top, down the bottom right. So
yeah, they're the sole reason that I have to make this chart as wide as I do, which is it was the case. It was the case last season as well. I had to keep extending it. Now, what you will say here is actually this is the clearest example of a clear demarcation between the top 10 and the bottom 10. In fact, there you go. There's a nice line. And that is actually the top 10 in the table and the bottom 10 in the table.
And that's exactly as it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this just shows it works in that.
It does. And I think it tells you, I mean, like I said, it's like you said, you put it perfectly, like this is kind of what you would expect it to look like. But how many of them have looked like that up until now? Not many, if any. This has been the cleanest one. Roffey, I will just give a shout out to Roffey actually, because they're coming up on the rails now. They've put together a bit of form, and
Jack Monday.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice to see clubs do that a bit under the radar, just going about their business and doing that, and that's.
Mate, he's got some good players down there. He's also got what I call the most underrated keeper in the league, in Monty Watson-Price over there.
Ah.
Poshest name in football, mate. Monty Watson-Price. Montgomery Watson-Price. He's like you find him in a bat cave or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
So that's how this one looks. This is what they normally should look like, but as I've said and as you've seen, they don't always. I'll tell you what, this is a good weekend for the league. 3 games between the top 7.
Go on. Where?
Well, one of them's overseas, which is annoying. It was Pagham head to face Guernsey. 5th versus 6th.
Those Pagham fans will have a few beers over there, I'll tell you.
I'm sure they will. It's football for a fiver at the Polgrove. Horsham YM are the visitors to Bexhill.
The Pirates?
Yeah, are.
They're doing well, mate. They surprised me.
They've surprised me too, pleasantly so. I mean, I used to work in Bexhill. I've got quite nice feelings towards them and Little Common. But it's good to see. And I did worry for them when the manager left and their best player got an offer he couldn't refuse to come and play for Eastbourne Town. I mean, who could possibly turn that down? But I did sort of worry for them, but no, they've proved me well wrong. And good on them. Continue to do so, lads. And the other one, and this is probably where I'm going to be heading on Saturday, per my poll.
Are you going to be? You're going to be like by the side of the pitch? Giving us the scores, yeah.
I can try. Newhaven
pitch side prior. Yeah.
Newhaven versus Hayward's Heath. That's currently where I'm going. So unless the poll changes massively,
I voted for that one.
Did you say Newhaven?
Oh, I voted for that one. Yeah.
Is that because it's the hardest for me to get to?
Well, no, because I thought that'd be the top game, and I thought you could go and give your expert analysis on it on the Wednesday show.
Believe it or not, I've never actually been to Fort Road for a game of football, which is mental considering how many times Town have faced them down the track. It's mad how I've never been. So, really, really good community down there. Really good committee. People behind the scenes. I'll tell you, ex-players. Great club. I saw it for myself actually. So I went there a couple of weeks ago. My friends were doing a run from London to Paris. And Newhaven Fort Road was actually yeah, it was. Oh god, I got soaked just getting out of the car. But it was at Fort Road was the finish line. So Newhaven were actually training that night. And even so, the club put on like the people like masseurs were there. I don't know if that was because of the run or Newhaven put them on or whatever, but they bought them bucket loads of fish and chips as well to get them fed. It was just they really did look after put on all the stops to look out for them. So on Newhaven for that. So yeah, I'll probably be there at the weekend as things stand. It is worth looking at this is a little match preview I've pulled together that I will be chucking out left, right, and centre as the season goes on. Perfect home record for New Haven, and a perfect away record. Perfect record, full stop, for Hayward.
Someone's O has to go, doesn't it?
Indeed, it does. Yeah. It's going to be. I mean, both teams are very good going forward, but also both teams are very good at the back. I think, yeah, this is going to be a humdinger. I am very excited about it.
Give me a prediction.
I will say New Haven. I'll say 1-0. Actually,
I'll go. I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go 2-1 Hayward Heath.
I was this close, but I realised I'm going into New Haven, so I thought better.
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting, but New Haven are going to have that extra motivation, having just got the gubbing that they did. I think they'll turn up sharp and motivated. So we will see. That'll be a good one, but it will be a good game at the Polgrove as well, as Horsham YM come to town, as it were. Now Bexhill have had a weird start of the season. Their home record has been affected by the fact that they've barely played at home. During August, it's tricky for them to play home games because of the whole cricket situation at the Polgrove.
Okay.
So they've played a lot of games in Eastbourne. The Saffrons has been a home for them, as has Eastbourne United's. And I'm pretty sure they played 1 or 2 at the Pilot Field as well. So they've been all over East Sussex. And Horsham, now to be fair to Horsham, they've lost 2 games this season, and they've been to the 2 teams that we have been tipping all season to be the top dogs, Stenning and Hayward Heath. So
don't sleep on them. I tell you, they are. I've said it all season now.
Look of their last 6 games, right? Those 2 they've lost. The others they've kept clean sheets. Now, admittedly, again, per my earlier point, look at who they've played. So it's 14th, 19th, 13th, 18th, but the consistency to be basically winning each of them games 3-0, 3-0, 4-0, 3-0, 2-0. Like
Johnson's got them drilled.
Yeah, that speaks of a team who know their jobs and just do it. Like,
he's recruited well as well.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah,
so I've heard. But fair play. I mean, you can recruit them as well as you like, but you can't coach them. So what? So no, fair. Good result that. That's going to be a really good game. If pushed, I would say Horsham YM to take it, but Bexhill are a good side. They're not, and they've got one. In my opinion,
they are a good side. I just think they might have the edge on them. YM.
So finally, then, Div 1. And this league, everyone's won one now, which is good. Only one team is unbeaten, and that's Mose Godalming Town, who had to Ringmer on Saturday. But it's very close other than that. There's only 6 points between Reigate Priory in 3rd and Uckfield in 14th.
That surprises me, because there's been some, especially for Uckfield, there's been some wild results.
There have, but there's also been a lot of draws. So nearly 29% of the games have been draws this season. Now, you look at the likes, I mean, Oakwood, I called out in the last show, having a lot of draws.
And we don't talk enough about Oakwood. We really don't.
No. Well, unfortunately for them, the only time we did was when they lost at Copthorne, which is unfortunate, but good for Copthorne to get that first win on the board. They needed that. But what I was going to say about, here's the form guide. And I just want to call out. So there you see, mid-table, 10th, Uckfield. They lost 9-0 to Reigate. That's gone smart. But since then, they've played Mile Oak, won 1-0. Played Saltdean, drawn. Played Copthorne, won. Now, I appreciate that those 3, the table, if according to the table, are not the best sides in that league. I get that. But to keep a clean sheet after having shipped 9 the previous week, and also to take 7 points from 9, this is what I mean when I say it's better to just get them out of your system. I
get that. I absolutely get that. I can't accept a 9-0 is something you get out of your system. But what I can accept and what I can respect massively is the reaction that they've got out of those lads in there. You know, Alex and I got out of them over there. You know what I mean?
They've had and look, you've played the game. I haven't. So
you got to respect what they're dealing with down there as well. That
was going to be my point. They've had a couple of rough years.
And there's good people at that club, real good people.
Yeah, weirdly. So for my other job, I work in caravan.
How many jobs you got?
Just one actual job. But I work in data analysis for caravaning.
I know you do.
There you go.
I did see that when you emailed me. I thought, what kind of data comes with a caravan? Do you know what I mean? You got like one caravan. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what?
It's I could bore you with it over a few drinks any day. But what I have been looking at recently in a lot of detail is weather data. And now the clay soil in Uckfield is a bugger. That place is very floody at the best of times. I have to drive through it when I go to East Grinstead for work and all the time, and it is bloody floody there. And I can understand why they can't get games on at certain periods of the time, but that must suck for a club. And obviously, everything that sort of happened sort of last January with regards to the ownership, the management, and all that sort of stuff. Knocked them for six. They were doing okay. You know, they might not have made the playoffs, but they weren't in any danger of relegation either. They were doing okay. They'd beaten Seaford, if I remember correctly. So
yes, they did 3-1, I believe.
Yeah, so they weren't doing bad. They've had again, they've a bit like Lansing. They've had some absolutely horrible situations to deal with, but yeah, that 9-0 could have been sent them spiraling. But they've bounced back.
Do you know what they could have reacted? They could have reacted. They could have made changes. They didn't. They stuck with those lads, and then they're good lads. And look at the reaction. Yeah, massive credit to them.
So yeah, I just wanted to give them a shout out for that, because that could have been the start of the end of their season, if you know what I mean. But no, fair play. But on Reigate, they're doing very well now. 3 wins on the bounce now.
Dale's doing bits up there, anyhow. Dale White. He messaged me today actually, because he's gagging about this new app, Dugout AI, that's coming out. Dugout AI in the corner there for anyone that didn't even see it.
It's going to be good, and they've got a very good game coming up as well. On the goal chart now, what we saw in the last, this is one of those that's probably even more balmy than the South Central. Just how condensed it is.
I can understand where Mo's got them in town are.
Yes,
and Reigate and Worthing United. That looks how it should be.
But the gap between
down there at the bottom as well.
Hey,
there's Uckfield down there as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that will be the fact that they shipped 9. But also, I will say as well, we said Billingshurst last time with the entertainers, and they've actually reined it in a bit. They've actually been keeping some clean sheets of late, so fair play to them. Arundel have replaced them though. So
didn't Billingshurst get another crazy draw just recently?
Yeah, that was in the.
I mean, if you want to go and see goals, if you want to go and see a proper game, go wherever Billingshurst are playing. Just go and see them.
Wait, when do they play? We need to find out when they're playing Arundel, because that could be like fucking rush keepers. That could be mad.
They've just appointed yesterday a new manager.
Yeah, he looks decent.
Well, look, I'm sure he does. But wasn't he at Reigate Priory sniffing around earlier pre-season, and then jumped, did a bit of training with EP? Maybe he was just going behind enemy lines, as they say. But look, his CV looks impressive, doesn't it?
Very much.
Good luck to him. Great club. Yeah. I love Arundel.
Definitely. But yeah, it's very condensed, this one, which makes it all the more fun, I think, in terms of analysing it and just seeing who can do what. But we have got a set of fixtures. No, don't do that. We have got a set of fixtures over the weekend, I believe. And here it is. And there is Billingshurst this weekend. I've got Uckfield. So,
well, that's going to be 15-0 or 17-16.
Yeah, Mo's lot go to Ringmer. So that's gonna be a good game, and that was one I did consider putting on the Twitter poll, but Twitter polls can only have 4. So
that's really shitty thing, isn't it? You can only do that.
And last time I went to Ringmer, I only got home. Last time I went to Ringmer by bus, I only got home because I was accompanied. So Let's not do that.
You can't not have a few beers at Ringmer. They've got one of the best setups going. They have.
Yeah, no, it'll be really good. So that'll be a good game. Ringmer have had a couple of rough ones of late, so I'm sure they'll want to start getting back to normality. But there is one definite game of the weekend, and that is this: Infinity versus Reigate.
I tell you what, that will be spicy. That will be Vindaloo with a bit of fowl and an onion bhaji on top. That will 100%. There will be some ones flying in because both of them teams, they can mix it. You know,
it's going to be interesting. I mean, these two teams are very good at both ends. You know, in terms of Infinity are averaging over nearly 3 goals a game. Reigate are, and both teams are decent at the back as well. What I will say is Reigate do tend to do a lot of their better work at home, albeit not the 9-0 upfield. So it's going to be, but Infinity apparently are down quite a lot of players.
They have had horrendous. Again, I did a podcast with their manager. And he was like, really, yeah. And then the week after, he lost about 7 people. So anyone that comes on the podcast, don't come and see me. I'll just give the people a kiss of death. You know.
Don't say that. Jude was on last night.
I wasn't on there, was I? I was watching behind the scenes on that one, wasn't I?
This is true. But no, it should be anyone in the Silsham area, get yourselves down there, because that promises to be a very good game indeed.
Don't expect a burger, though.
No, or a particularly good bacon sandwich. But that's kind of a lot, really, in terms of the stats. I appreciate there's a lot there, but
Chris, you never seem to not amaze me. You know, you're an absolutely fantastic addition to our little group that do this. You know, you've brought an absolutely new dynamic, which people love. The amount of great feedback we get, and I'm sure you'll get some from this as well. You know, for you to be able to put a show like that together, because for anyone listening, I knew nothing about what he was going to do. All I had to do was set up the room and set up the stream. That's it. I really think this could really snowball into something with you, with the way you do your stats and analysis. And I think maybe some teams should start having a little chat with you about maybe what you can do as well. So that's what I think.
Well, I mean, I've got an open inbox, so anybody who wants to contact me is able to on Twitter @_Chris Pryor. Like I say, I do it to try and drive up crowds as much as anything else. Like, it's to try and tell people there's a great thing out there. You know, the Sussex community has been brilliant to me. I mean, I'm an outsider.
An outsider. I like that. I like that.
Well, I've never even played the game. I watch a lot of it, but I've never played the game. I'm not from around these parts, but everybody has just been fantastic with us. So yeah, give us a shout.
That's because you are, Pryor, a genuinely nice guy that has no agenda. I'll say this in front of everyone, and that you're a great laugh when you have a beer as well. If you think he's really straight and does his thing, you wait till he has a beer. He's brilliant. He really is, you know. But it's strange. I support Man United. I'm in the south. You know, you support the other team, and you're down here, but you are actually from Manchester, which is strange. Yeah. But yeah, Chris, once again, mate, fantastic show. So, what surprises you have for us next time? Is there going to be some kind of new dynamic to add to it? I mean,
to be honest, I can't say, and the reason I can't say is I react to the circumstances. If someone does something amazing or something comes to me, then fine. I will react. I don't want to try and force stuff onto an agenda. I'd rather see what's happening and react accordingly.
And are you going to be able to get these out that you've showed us at some point over the next 24 hours, maybe?
Yeah, I should be able to shove that into a PDF. It's all landscape, so yeah, it should be fine.
Because you know people trawl through these and love them. Okay.
Yes.
So, Chris Pryor, episode 2, the Sussex Statman Show. signing off.
Cheers all.
Cheers, guys. By the way, thank you everyone, because again, loads of crazy numbers. We don't do it on these nights for the views. We do it just to, well, we're actually just going to record this and put it on YouTube. But you've said it now. It still will go on there. But thank you for showing Chris the support, because again, fantastic numbers, especially on nights when teams train across the county. So thank you always for your support. Any feedback, let us know. Any abuse, hurl it my way. It's all good. And right, have a lovely evening, everyone. Take care.
Cheers, everyone. Stats your lot.
Love that.